The Chargers had a great offseason, or at least that's how I feel. And I think it's pretty well documented how I feel because I've been making like 5 videos a week through the offseason, the entire way through. But I think the vast majority of the moves that this team has made has been really good, and that includes both the hirings of all of the coaches and the guys in the front office like Joe Ortiz, the general manager, but also the signing of all of the players. I think like 90% of them have been A+. But PFF, they have a different view on the Chargers, as we all know, and they often rile up Chargers fans a lot of the time because they feel like PFF doesn't give the Chargers, and specifically Justin Herbert, the respect that they deserve. So I thought today we should go and look at what PFF has to say about the Chargers and how their offseason has gone so far. They did a full team rankings article, so I'm going to link that in the description, but let's see what PFF has to say. So before we get into what PFF is projecting, I think it's important to see where they place the Chargers in 2023. So overall, they were 20th in team grade, 22nd in offense, 20th defense, but that's special teams. They were the best in the league according to PFF. So a lot of Chargers fans, they kind of think that PFF doesn't really give the Chargers the respect that they deserve, but they graded the Chargers special teams as the best in the NFL, and we obviously still retained Ryan Ficken, the special teams coordinator, because of that. But now let's get to this article because this is the main thing I want to talk about: the 2024 NFL roster rankings. So it's the strengths, the weaknesses, X factors, and they're basically placing teams in terms of like who's number one all the way to number 32. They got number one, the San Francisco 49ers, as you can see. So let's click the Chargers, see where we're at, number 26. So the 26th best team in the NFL. I mean, a lot of people, the Chargers are just such an unknown right now. So I'm not going to put too much stock into them placing the Chargers at 26. You know, when you have a new regime, new general manager, new head coach, you can't really place teams in like the top 10, the top 15. And also, we got a lot of roster issues right now. I'm sure we can all admit that. But let's get into this biggest strength in 2023, the edge rusher. So PFF thinks edge rusher is the Chargers' biggest strength, and I totally agree with that. I think that's their best position group by far. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, who are getting up there in age, but those are two star players. And Joey Bosa, it's not like he's going to start diminishing because of his age. Khalil Mack, we can have that argument. But then after those two guys who are star players, the top end talent, you have Tuli Tuipulotu and Bud Dupree, who at the very least, that's some really, really good depth. And I think Tuli Tuipulotu is going to really emerge and become a star in the NFL because I really liked his rookie season. He's really good in run defense, and he also has a lot of pass rush upside. Obviously, he's really good with his hands, and he can perform those stop moves very well to set up his teammates like Joey Bosa for those sacks. Bud Dupree, high effort guy. They are 4 deep at edge rusher. Not a lot of teams are even like 2 deep. And then they also have that heavy top end talent like a Tom Telesco roster, you know, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, while also having that depth. So they say here, Khalil Mack drank from the fountain of youth in 2023. Best season since 2020, despite being 32 years old. Yeah, that's something that we've been talking about a lot in this offseason, is that he's 32 years old and he still was playing such a great level. And he had the most sacks in his career last year, while also having 88 pressures, 91.8 PFF grade, even PFF giving him his flowers, because a lot of times, well, sometimes guys will be able to put up a really productive season, but PFF doesn't grade them highly because they just don't think they're good on a play-by-play basis. Khalil Mack, he was good on a play-by-play basis, and he was putting up those crazy numbers. But they go on to talk about Joey Bosa and how he was, injured a lot, but he was still very productive when on the field. Yep, Jim Harbaugh even said that Joey Bosa was better than Khalil Mack was when he was on the field. But they're also shouting out Tuli Tuipulotu here because they're saying he picked up a lot of the slack when Joey Bosa went gone. 8 of his 51 pressures into sacks, while also being very stout against run, 88.4 run defense grade. Yeah, that was the best part of Tuli Tuipulotu's game in USC and with the Chargers. He's very, very good against the run, and he has great hand usage, great technique, setting that edge really well. We saw it a lot last year in his rookie year. He's only going to get better. Now they have the biggest weakness as wide receiver, and I totally agree with that. I think this wide receiver room is in a little bit of trouble right now. We don't really have like a number one wide receiver. Got a lot of rookies, got a lot of young guys that we like, but they're not proven, and it's just at this point they could be anything. We really don't know. I like Glad McConkey. I think Quentin Johnston has potential. A lot of people hate when I say that. Joshua Palmer, I think, could really develop and emerge this year, but the fact is, until we see that from those guys, we just can't rely on that happening. So wide receiver, it just kind of has to be the worst position, our biggest weakness, I guess, on this roster. What PFF said is that, the Chargers were in a really bad cap situation and they had to get rid of their two wide receivers, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. They didn't really have to get rid of Keenan Allen, but they, saw that the money, when you do get rid of Keenan Allen, it helps out this team more than actually having Keenan Allen. They could have made it work. They wanted him to take a pay cut. He didn't want to take a pay cut. That's how it happened. You don't shoot the messenger, but that's how it happened. Now, they spent a first-round pick on Quentin Johnston last year. He had plenty of rookie struggles. Yeah. The team drafted 3 wide receivers in 2022. Lad McConkey, Brendan Rice, Cornelius Johnson. Despite these additions, the receiving room lacks any established playmakers for Justin Herbert to throw to. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. PFF sees it the same way. And now they got the X factor being Quentin Johnston. Okay, I mean, you could have gone a bunch of different ways here for the X factor, but Quentin Johnston is a good one. He's in a very tough position right now. He needs to break out or he's going to be a bust for the rest of his life. That's kind of how people are going to see it. But they say Quentin Johnston struggled as a rookie first rounder. That's an understatement. While his drop issues were overblown, he only had 2 drops last season. Yeah, so he did only have 2 drops as graded by PFF. But the problem is those drops came in crucial situations while also not being good in contested catch situations. So when he was in a contested catch, and he should have caught the ball because this is a big physical, not really physical, but this is a big athletic wide receiver, right? You would expect him to be good in that contested catch situation. There could be a 5'9" cornerback that jars that ball loose. So when you see a wide receiver like that who also has drops in big time situations, your mind just kind of goes to, okay, this guy can't catch the ball. He drops passes. When in reality, he was just really bad in contested catch percentage while also having crucial drops in crucial moments. I think those crucial drops can go into the rookie jitters category, while that contested catch category is more of like a play style thing. And that's something that he needs to work on with Sanjay Lal. So that's why I think the drop kind of problem, or really like the catching the ball problem, I think he can improve upon that because it was mostly contested catches. Now they got the rookie to watch being Kamani Vidal. Okay, I mean, you could have gone Kamani Vidal, you could have gone Lad McConkey. I think Joe Waltz is going to have a big impact, but he's on the offensive line, so people don't want to watch him. But despite being taken in the 6th round, Vidal has the potential to take over the starting running back sooner than later. Okay, this is exactly what I've been saying too. They signed Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins from the Ravens. Gus Edwards played well last year, setting career highs with 810 rushing yards, 13 scores. He is 29, yeah. But okay, so Gus Edwards played, or he was more productive last year because he was used a lot more. That efficiency did go down. It was actually not a great year for him in terms of how he has played throughout his career because the Ravens had to use him a lot more and that efficiency went down. Like I said, they go on to say J.K. Dobbins, on the other hand, he has dealt with many injuries throughout his career. And then Isaiah Spiller, he hasn't done much in his first 2 seasons. Yeah, with a good training camp, Vidal could find himself high in the running back rotation right out of the gate. I totally agree with that statement. PFF is right on the dot right here. And you can see all the rankings. Oh, man, this is a lot of yellow, not a lot of green. The only thing I'm liking here is Justin Herbert and Rashawn Slater. Oh, my God. Our over-under win total, 8.5. They have us going under, dude. What? Under 8.5 wins. That's... Okay, so they think that we're going to have a losing record in Jim Harbaugh's first season. Let's see why. Justin Herbert's passing ability and the addition of Jim Harbaugh's head coach will cover up a lot of problems. The team is too thin at many key positions to be considered a serious threat in the AFC. Well, if you have 9 wins, are you a serious threat in the AFC? If you have 10 wins, are you a serious threat? Like, I think they can get to those win totals without being considered like a serious threat to go to the Super Bowl or play in deep into the playoffs. Like, I don't think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender in year 1, but I think they could absolutely be a wild card team. The Chargers do have one of the easiest schedules in terms of 2023 records. I don't really look too much into that. A lot of teams go through a lot of changes, but they don't appear to have the firepower to take full advantage of that. Okay. I can kind of understand where they're coming from, but I also think coaching mask a lot of weaknesses, and that's something that we didn't see with Brandon Staley, and I think we're going to see a lot of with Jim Harbaugh. So that's why I think this team is going to take a big leap from what we saw this past season. And yeah, these are all the PFF grades. Not a lot of really high grades, as you can see, but there are some guys like Alohi Gilman graded very highly, Khalil Mack graded highly, Justin Herbert, and then the rookies like Joe Alt, Lad McConkey. Those are their college grades. But yeah, not a lot of really high grades on PFF from all of these guys who are projected to get a ton of playing time. So overall, I generally agree with what PFF is saying. The only thing that I don't really, or I guess the biggest thing that I don't agree with, is under 8.5 wins. I think they're going to get to like probably 9 wins. That's where I would just solidly put them with confidence right now. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you think the win total is going to be? Do you think PFF is crazy with some of these takes? Let me know. And if you did not see my video yesterday, then you can click right here.